Alright guys, another day, another project. So this one is more of an instructional on how to set up a kettle grill to smoke meat. Now, it is important to note that you do not need a kettle grill specifically. The concepts that you see in this video are able to be replicated in most charcoal grills. And also a lot of the attachments that you see in this video are not necessary. I've accumulated a lot of these attachments over the years, and they help aid me in my smoking of meats, but they are absolutely not necessary, okay? Just something to keep in mind. So as you can see, I have a 22-inch kettle grill, and next to it I have a stainless steel table. The description for all the products I am including in the caption, so you can just look it up if you're interested. But this is what I use, okay, to help me achieve my desired end product. So the first thing you want to do when setting up a grill to smoke is obviously you need a fire, okay? I like to use a chimney starter to start it. Everyone does it a little bit differently as far as how they start their fire. Again, I use a chimney starter. So what you see there is I happen to have a reservoir for my briquettes, so if you don't have a reservoir, it's okay. You can pour it directly on that bottom grate that you see there. But I do, so I pour it in there. And then I'm also placing a couple wood chunks on there, in this case mesquite, because I'm trying to impart a mesquite wood smoke flavor to the meat. So just a couple of pieces. Handful of pieces on top of the briquettes will achieve that. So to start the chimney starter, if you've never used one before, you just crumple up a couple sheets of newspaper or magazine paper, and you want it kind of loose. You don't want it real tight, and then you just light it. You light it from the bottom. You're going to see me blowing on the chimney starter in the next clip, because on this particular day there wasn't much wind. And if you know anything about fire, the more oxygen that the fire gets, the better that it stays, the stronger that the fire is. So that's why you see me blowing on it, and you'll see the flames creep up there shortly. In the reservoir, that's where you pour the majority of briquettes. That's how you want to set it up. You only want to light up a couple of briquettes. As you saw in the chimney starter, I only have about 6 briquettes. And once those are lit, you want to pour it into a corner. You don't want to pour it directly over it. You want to pour it in a corner. That way, those couple of briquettes that are lit up slowly transfers heat to the rest of the briquettes, and they light up one by one. The reason is because if I had put all of those briquettes that you see in the reservoir in the chimney starter and lit all of them at once, then the heat would have been a lot higher, and that's not what you want to smoke meat at. You want to smoke meat low and slow, which is approximately 250 or so degrees Fahrenheit. It's okay if it gets a little bit higher. Some people, are really meticulous about the temperature, but the key is you just want to stay relatively consistent. You also see that I poured water into that reservoir right next to the briquettes there. So the water serves a twofold purpose. One, it helps keep the temperature of the inside of the grill lower. It kind of helps regulate it. And then the second purpose is it kind of keeps the meat moist. Now you can also achieve keeping the meat moist by spritzing it periodically with apple juice, apple cider vinegar, water, whatever spritzing liquid of your choice. But anyways, once you get the fire started, okay, and by fire started I mean the internal temperature of the grill is approximately 250 or so at least, then you can bring your meat out and lay it on the grate, okay? In this case, I'm smoking some turkey breast tenderloins. So that's what you see me doing there. The grill has gotten up to temp, and now I'm placing the meat on the grate. You don't want to put the meat directly on the briquettes, because that's what you call the direct heat zone. So when you smoke meat, or when you grill in general, there's the indirect zone and the direct heat zone. And so the direct heat zone's wherever the source of the heat is, right? So if you put the meat directly on the charcoal, then it's going to be, I mean, you're going to be searing it rather than smoking it. So you want to put it on the indirect zone. Hence why I have a reservoir briquettes and then that area where there's nothing. That's why you want that two. It's known as two-zone cooking to achieve that smoked meat versus that like seared steak, as an example. What you see in this clip is me setting up my Bluetooth meat thermometer. I would highly recommend one of these if you're gonna be smoking meats. It doesn't need to be wired like you see mine. They have wireless ones as well. It's really just a preference thing. I got this years ago and it works well for me. So how the Bluetooth thermometer works is you can download an app that's associated with that meat thermometer, and when it gets up to temp, it'll alarm you. Like it'll be on your phone alarming you. Um, it's very convenient. That way you can go do other things while you're smoking meat and you don't have to keep going out checking it all the time. Something to keep in mind for smoking, grilling meat in general is you cook to temp, not to time, right? Um, for example, this turkey, it's done at 165 degrees Fahrenheit. When it's done, you pull it off, you let it rest, and then you slice into it. You don't cook to a certain time because each piece of meat is a little bit different in size and in what temperature it needs to be considered food safe. And that's it. I know it may seem a bit more involved than standard grilling, but I can assure you that smoking takes your meat to a whole different flavor profile.